Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, my friends. Someone please confirm that the audio is working, but wow. Wow. Oh, wow. Someone hit me in the chat. Somebody hit me in the chat. Come on, you guys are slow. Anybody? Bueller. What's up, Gem Card? We won, Ace. Can someone tell me the audio is good? Thank you. Let's go, Devils. 95, 2000, 2003. I absolutely love it. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you. For the first time in what feels like weeks.
How about those Devils? How about those Devils?
Oh, man, I'm going to run it one more time.
How about those Devils? How about those Devils?
How about those Devils? Oh, welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button. Smash the like. Share with a friend. Thank you very much. I got to calm down for a minute, folks. I'm all fired up. I was at the Rock listening to the General in the car, but you already know the next part of the program. You guys already know. I must ask, I must know.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Legends in the building. Jacques Lemaire goes into the ring, and for the old school fans, and I'm sorry if you're a newer fan, I might bore you for a second here, but if you are an older fan who witnessed and lived through the dynasty years, how friggin' sweet is it to see all of these guys back in the building, on the ice? Legends on legends on legends. 4 of the 5 retired banners, only missing Mr. Patrick Elias. Shout out to Patty, wherever in the world you may be, probably the Czech Republic or something. But your New Jersey Devils needing a win so desperately. The slide has been horrific. Obviously, 2-6-3 in the previous 11. Looking for a win, playing a Boston Bruins team who's also desperate for points. And your New Jersey Devils come out and lay the absolute smackdown by a score of 5-1. Obviously, win or lose, we booze. And tonight, for the first time again in what feels like forever, we are drinking Victory Vodka, baby. Dirty Devil Vodka, the official vodka of the great Martin Brodeur. Dirty Devil Vodka, smooth as hell. I'm going to start off with a bottle shot. This one is for the coach, Jacques Lemaire. We salute you. A bottle shot in your honor. That one's for coach. And win or lose, we booze, guys. Victory Vodka. It's been way too long. It's been way too long since Victory Vodka, and here we are. Cheers to my Devils fans. Like I said, came back from the Rock. Beautiful ceremony for the coach. Love seeing those legends. Shout out to those of you that I met. I met a bunch of you at the game today, and I'm so sorry. I'm terrible with names, or I would shout you guys out. But shout out to all of you that I met tonight at the game, whether it was in, the concourse or the box office, the gift shop. I met a ton of you guys throughout the game. So shout out to all you guys. Thank you very much for your for your continued support, rather. And wow, guys. Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. Legends in the building. And for those of you that didn't get to check out the video, check it out. The latest video on the channel from this morning. I had the opportunity to go to a VIP event with the fancy folks. Your boy Ace is not a fancy folk, but I have some fancy folk friends. Shout out Dan and Brian. And they hooked your boy up with a invite to the soiree of the season in Jacques Lemaire's honor, Dine with the Devils, Jacques Lemaire Ring of Honor edition. So if you haven't seen that video, check that out. I was able to talk with a bunch of the legends, get some cool video. Jacques Lemaire is hilarious on the mic in his older age. Some good clips in there as well. But love seeing the legends. Needed the win, obviously, because our season was in free fall. And legends in the building. You can't shit the bed with legends in the building. And the boys came out. They responded. They took care of business by a score of 5-1. And now I will say, the first thing I'm going to say is that, I'm ecstatic for the win, obviously. I'm ecstatic for the win because we just needed one so badly. I mean, a loss tonight, and people are going to, some of my loved ones may have been doing wellness checks on me a few times a day because I have been just at a very low place as a result of this hockey team underachieving and being terrible. But they're not out of the woods yet. I'm not going to say this fixes everything. I'm not that delusional. This team is still in trouble to me until they can now consistently do this. We saw, obviously, earlier today, Sheldon Keefe once again changed the lines from the last lines that were reported in practice from the day before. And we see a little more of a shakeup. Palat not able to play due to illness. And Paulie gets the call to play on the top line with Jack and Bastian. We see Mercer with Timo on that third line now. And for now, it looks like, the biggest winner of the line jumbling very well may be Dawson Mercer. I mean, Dawson Mercer, come on down. A guy that a lot of you have shit on, and I have been defending him for a very long time. I like Dawson. I do think what he does is underrated. Again, you can't put too many guys in all situations, whether you're penalty killing, on the power play, protecting a lead. Dawson's an energy guy, and I have defended him for a while because you do need guys like that in your lineup to win, especially in the playoffs. And I don't think we have too many other guys that kind of have his overall skill set. And so I'm very high on Dawson Mercer. A lot of people have been down on him pretty much all year. And people have been kind of throwing his name around in terms of, potential trade packages and all these things. And, the lines get jumbled up, and he goes out there and has himself a game with Timo tonight. Let's just get to the game here. It didn't start off good. Obviously, Geeky with that blast in the first period. Devils down 1-0. That's how the first ended. I was clinically depressed at that point. Going down 1-0 super early with the way the team has been playing. I'm not going to lie. I was a little nervous. A good amount of Bruins fans in the building. And I thought, wow, this could be on Jacques Lemaire night. Am I going to, crown this kind of as the unraveling of the season? Fortunately, it did not happen. And the boys had one of their best periods of the season, I think, in that second. Dawson scores early in the period. A few minutes later, Dougie strikes on the power play. Then Nason, being the junkyard dog, strikes on the power play as well. And what is there to say about Stefan Nason, the junkyard dog, back from the Norovirus, and gets a big one for the boys at 16:01 of the second on the power play from Nico and Hughes. His 18th of the season, gives the Devils the 3-1 lead. And then 12 seconds later, Dawson tacks on his second of the game, 12th of the season, to give the Devils the 4-1 cushion. That's how that period ends. And pretty much that was all she wrote in terms of the Bruins. They were pretty much done at that point, in my opinion. I didn't think, we're going to blow a 3-goal lead in the third with legends in the building, knowing that we desperately needed the 2 points. We go to the third. And on the power play once again,
he's pretty, and he lives in Jersey City. Number 13, Nico Hischiauza.
Nico Hischiauza, the captain, El Capitan, his 23rd of the season from Dougie at 13:32 the third, makes it 5-1, and that's all she wrote, folks. Your New Jersey Devils, just way too much for the Bruins tonight, and it's just a relief. It's just an absolute relief. Nico with a big game, a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. Obviously, Timo with 2 assists. Dawson Mercer with 2 goals. And this is hopefully now what will be, the team taking a step in the right direction. I will say there was a lot of things that bothered me. Let's just get to the game stats. Bruins 23 shots on goal. The Devils with 35. Love to see it. We had a 13-shot outing against the Flyers a few days ago. Putrid, 35 shots to the Devils today. Face-offs, 50% for both teams. I don't know that I've seen that in a while. Exactly 50%. Bruins 0 for 3 on the power play, and the Devils go 3 for 7. And special teams for your New Jersey Devils, perfect on the day. 3 for 3 on the penalty kill, 3 for 7 on the power play. Well, I guess that's not perfect. Perfect in the penalty kill, 3 for 3. And then power play, 3 for 7, which is 43%. And once again, the power play, when it's hot, when the power play's on, this team is obviously at their best. 2 even strength goals. Obviously, in an ideal world, you would like to see more than that. And part of the reason why I'm not going to say this team is out of the woods just yet. I mean, I try to be level-headed. After the stretch we've had, I'm not going to start lighting off fireworks after one win, but I will celebrate it with all of you. Cheers, because we needed it so friggin' bad. So friggin' bad we needed this win. but there's still a lot of work ahead. It is a long road. The horrible slide that they've been on has evaporated the points lead, essentially, and there is teams nipping at our ass. And this is now we're going to get to the part that I thought was the most tragic. Bruins with 11 hits and your New Jersey Devils also with 11 hits. 11 hits in the National Hockey League is a putrid stat. I understand we won 5-1, and a lot of people would say it's nitpicking, but 11 hits in a lot of games, you're going to be losing the physical war, and this is a physical sport. Hockey is for warriors, and 11 hits is not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a lot of hits, and so, again, we won the game, but one of the things that was noticeably absent, in my opinion, was the physicality, and you can't get used to just winning these games without it. And another game we win tonight, no physicality, 11 hits. Got to dial that up. Bruins with 19 block shots, Devils with 17 block shots. Bruins with 19 giveaways, the Devils with 12 giveaways. Bruins 3 takeaways, Devils with 3 takeaways. And obviously the other story outside of the massive win is Jacob Markstrom goes down with some sort of leg injury. I think I was reading rumors. I don't think there's anything other than the official statement. I believe is we're not going to get an update till tomorrow. It was promising that he was able to skate off on his own. He obviously was laboring and in pain, but the fact that he was able to put weight on it and actually skate off, I mean, hopefully it's nothing more than, well, we know what they're going to call it. They're going to call it lower body injury, and he will either be one of two things: day to day or week to week. That's going to be the report on Marky tomorrow. Hopefully he's not out for too long. Obviously, you guys know how I feel about Jacob Markstrom. In the past couple weeks, this man has been standing on his head, stealing points for the New Jersey Devils in games that they would have otherwise been blown out in. And Jake Allen now is going to have to really step up. This is why the team and Tom Fitzgerald specifically felt that Allen was the smart kind of tandem guy to go with Markstrom in case of injury, that you have a more veteran goalie ready to step in there should you have the need. And now that need has arisen. Marky's down, hopefully not for long, but in that absence, it's going to be Jake Allen's net. I'm curious to see who gets called up. It will obviously be between Nico Dawes and Isaac Poulter. I'm sure we will see that news sometime tomorrow, who gets called up, with the Markstrom injury. I was also curious, did they make any mention on the broadcast of once Marky went down, who the emergency backup goalie was? The Ebug? I've been meaning to look into that. I've had no time. I was pulling into my driveway as the general was finishing up his post-game press conference, and I haven't been able to, I wanted to jump right on here. I haven't had time to look into that, but I'm curious who the Ebug was. Once Marky was out, obviously now Allen's in the net, and we have no backup should Allen get hurt. So for those of you that don't know, there's something called an emergency backup goalie, and the acronym's the word Ebug, emergency backup goalie, Ebug, and every arena has one. And I forget if there's a separate one for both teams or if the arena Ebug is designated for both teams. But either way, there is an Ebug on hand at all times, and I'm wondering if the guy got dressed. I do not believe he never came to the bench, whoever it is. Most of the time they wait in the back. But in a scenario like this, there had to be someone waiting in the wings should Jake Allen have gotten injured. And it's usually like someone who played fairly high level of hockey, usually at least college or some kind of, minor league sometimes. But there was definitely an E-Bug shitting his pants in the back. He was whoever it was a Jake Allen injury away from getting thrust into NHL action. So I'm curious. I'll report back on that if I remember to look into it. I would like to, but a lot. Your New Jersey Devils, guys. Hopefully we are on the right track. Again, lack of physicality really bothered me. I'm curious to see if Sheldon Keefe sticks with these new lines for now, or if he reverts back to one of the combinations, that we were seeing for the majority of the season, or possibly even a different combination. With our lineup, there are a lot of possibilities for you to try at the moment, but it feels good to win. And it just feels good to win. Hopefully this is the turning point and we are out of that slump, but I am realistic enough to tell you that, I need to see several more performances before we're out of the woods. And in the end, we're not even going to really be out of the woods. I'll just feel better. we're fully in a dogfight now. We played like shit and we let our lead slip away, and there's teams coming for us. We got 2 days off, Thursday, Friday, back in action in Montreal Saturday night, and the Canadiens are another team right outside a wild card. Let me just reload the standings here. Yeah, and the Canadiens are right now 1 point out of the second wild card spot. It's not going to get any easier, guys. Teams are going to be scratching and clawing for every point they can get pretty much for the rest of the season. And because of the parity in the league and because of the loser point with teams, picking up these overtime and shootout loss loser points, it keeps teams in the thick of it for much longer than it would without it. And that's what the league wanted. They didn't want empty arenas. They didn't want, TV ratings in the toilet for these teams that were out of the playoffs super early in the season. And so here we are. We are going to be in a lot of just absolute wars down the stretch of the season, and I hope the team's ready for it. The 11 hits is very concerning to me. I am super ecstatic with the win, but at this point, I am going to be greedy and say, not only do I want the win, I want other elements to be there. The physicality is not, and that's going to have to change as well because a lot of these teams are going to come out and just start smashing, but I've ran my trap enough for right now, and we will get to the comments to see what you fine folks are talking about. Let me just Traveling Devil. What's going on? Amputated leg below the knee for Markstrom. Thankfully, it's not. John Fay, I was at the game. It was amazing. The ceremony was amazing. I'm going to do a vlog on the game. That'll probably come out either tomorrow night or the following morning. I don't know yet. Probably the following. These freaking things take forever, guys. I'm an old man. I'm an old dog trying to learn new tricks on the fly, and it's not the easiest. But yeah, that'll probably go out the following morning. Ariel, what's up? Oh baby, what a game! I got some people to chant. Oh man, I got some people to chant. Okay, separate thought. Oh man, some of you guys need to learn, not to be the grammar police, but sometimes when I'm reading these things and I'm trying to fly by, a little punctuation would help your boy Ace. A comma, a period, anything, exclamation. Break it up a little bit. I got to sit here and decipher, where to put the breaks. I got some people to chant. Oh man, the crowd was great. I had such a blast. Let's go Devils. We won for Jock. We won for the old man. If we went out there and laid an egg and had a stinker in front of Jacques Lemaire, I would have had secondhand embarrassment. Why are you running? What's going on? I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but this game felt like a turning point for the Devils. I hope it is, but like I said, I am not going to get carried away and be like, oh, the Devils are back after one game. Absolutely not. 2-6-3 in the last 11. You got to show me way more than one game. Come on now. What do I look like? Does it look like I was born? I was born at night, not last night. One win, I'm not going to be like, oh, there's no problems. All is well. The Devils are back. Absolutely not. It's time to build off this thing, and we're going to be in a war in Montreal. Jake Allen returning in the pipes against his former club. He should be fired up. I'm sure, Jake Allen is now really looking forward to that. There was a good chance he wouldn't have got that start with the Markey injury. He's in there. He is totally in there. John Rogers, I shed a tear watching the veterans enter the ice. Listen, it doesn't make me shed a tear, but it makes me feel some sort of way inside. It's nostalgia overload. I talked about this a little bit in that video I referenced. If you haven't seen it and you're an older fan, or if you're a younger fan and want to kind of learn, check it out and check out some of the links in the description of that video that kind of show you some cool stuff from that time period. But there's nothing I love more than the Dynasty Devils. Those guys are absolute legends, a huge part of my childhood, a huge part of my life overall. And seeing those guys last night at that event was amazing. Seeing them on the ice again today, wow. It's, there's nothing quite like it, especially if you lived through it. SST, oh boy, running looks like Eminem. Jay Snow, let's do it a few times in a row now. Prove it wasn't just luck. I agree with that. Devin G, we needed this win bad. Yes, we did. Ritter Engine, take a shot for Markey, bro. All right. This one goes out to Jacob Markstrom. Thank you for everything you've done on the season. Hopefully your injury is not too bad. And we see you back in the pipes sooner than later for the New Jersey Devils. Greg, Orlando, cheers, Ace. Cheers to you, sir. Ariel, were you on the Jumbotron? I think I saw you. If I was, I didn't know about it. It's possible. Yeah, if I was, I don't know, but it's possible. Timo time with 2 assists. Oh, Say it louder for the people in the back, Devils 25. Timo time. 2 assists. 2 assists. Say it louder for the Doomers and the people in the back. Chico, but Ace, they lost the most important third period of the season. I don't know what that means. I said that after the last game. That was true, and it still is true at the time. Oh, Chico. Jason, hey there. Great to see you again. I'm definitely glad that we honor Jacques Lemaire. What an impressive 5-1 victory over the Bruins. That was a much-needed win. Great response. Absolutely, it was. John Fay says these lines seem to work quite a bit for now. Jay Snow, I don't know what games Chico watches. Neither do I. He was like, like I said, I consider myself very level-headed and fair when it comes to kind of assessing the performances. For anyone to not be at least where I was mentally and I guess verbally talking about it after the weekend games, the Flyers and the Senators, where we scored 1 goal in back-to-back games, 13 shots total in the Flyers game and 3 shots in the third period of that Senators game, that was deplorable. That was just as gross as it gets. And for anyone to say anything positive, after that, to me, is you are the delusional person that some of the doomers here tried to make me out to be prior to that. Who is this guy, Brian C? He's in here every time. This guy's a Flyer fan with no life. Chico, the Norovirus thing was fairly new. They started sucking way before that. Don't make excuses. Traveling Devil, remember Lindros laying on the ice? That was probably before this kid was born. Raymond the Cat, Lemaire must be new. I've never heard of him. No, Lemaire is actually old. He was the head coach of the 1995 Stanley Cup champion New Jersey Devils, an absolute legend, won 8 cups as a player for the Montreal Canadiens. I believe he won 2 more as an assistant GM of the Canadiens, and then he won 1 as the head coach of the New Jersey Devils in 1995. He has more cup rings than we all have fingers, unless you have 11 fingers. I suppose that's a possibility. But for those of us with 10 fingers, he has 1 more ring than we have fingers. Damien, what's going on? Yo, Ace, what's good? Finally a long time win against the Bruins in regulation, and our boy Mercer almost got the hat trick. Say, for that dime of the Devils event, how does one get access? I explained this. It's for VIPs, man. I'm not a VIP, but your boy got VIP friends, luckily for me. VIP, exclusive invite only, and that is how I got in, because I got some fancy friends. Shout out to them. Devils 25, Poulter over Dawes is backup if Markey's down for a while. I have no preference. I mean, for me to give an honest evaluation on that, I would have to have, seen them in action lately for the Comets, and I haven't. So I think the franchise will make the right decision there. I'm sure, between the goaltending coaches and whoever else, they will pick the guy that is most NHL ready, in case Allen gets injured. Now they're going to be thrust into the net. Hopefully Allen plays well like he did tonight, and hopefully he can hold the fort down while Markey's gone, which is hopefully not for too long. SST says Markey ACL. Certainly hope not. Steven, Mrs. Fields is now over 25 in the season. What the hell is going on this chocolate legs of hers? This is a reference to that stupid in-game video the Devils play where desserts race around the ice. I still, for the life of me, don't know, why is that even a thing? Like a dessert race? Like, I don't know. I don't particularly love all the gimmicky stuff. I think that's one of them. And yeah, for whatever reason, the Mrs. Fields cookie now has not won one race on the season. Stick Figs, what's up? Markstrom died so that this team can have another chance at life. Mrs. Fields can't win. Jay Snow, 100% agree. We need to start stringing wins together. Absolutely. I'm not, like I said, I'm not, I'm celebrating because we needed the win, but the reality is I am still nearly as worried as I was going into the game. I feel a little bit better, but one game is not going to move the needle for me personally in terms of my overall evaluation of where this team is and kind of what they need to do going forward. It's one win. We were 2-6-3 in the last 11. We needed the points bad. We got it. And now let's see what we could do on the road in Montreal. Devils for life. I agree. Ace missing the physical style play, especially when Markey went down. Yeah, there was a couple little skirmishes and stuff, but in the end, you have to be able to hit 11 hits is just so crazy. I mean, that's one hit every over 5 minutes. How is you as a team are you throwing one hit every 5 minutes in a hockey game? I mean, it's unbelievable. I can't wrap my head around it. The only thing I can come up with is that I knew that a lot of these guys are on the softer side, that they don't really embrace the physical game. And those couple games where we saw it, it must have been like an initiative that was pounded into their heads, nonstop leading up to the game. But, 11 hits is not going to get it done. And doing this kind of stuff regularly and thinking that you are going to play the same brand of hockey in the playoffs and win is an outright joke. Florida Panthers, say no more. See what the Panthers have done the last couple seasons, and they're smashing teams every game. Jay Snow, yeah, they need to improve 5 versus 5, especially in the playoffs. Power play dries up. Yeah. 5 on 5. We got 2 goals tonight. Is that a step in the right direction? Yeah. I mean, we only scored 1. Actually, was it even strength? I think the last game was even strength. But 2 goals at even strength is not particularly great. It's enough to win on some nights, and a lot of nights it won't be. Stanley 62495. Watch the Ring of Honor ceremony, then turned it off. Just don't trust most of these players to play consistently and need a break. Well, one of the few things I was enjoying, however, was Markstrom's play. Well, yeah, it's a shame. He's clearly the MVP on the season thus far. And when I saw him go down, I was like, my God. Like, is this just, the injury curse has followed us from last season? And now instead of top 6 forwards going down, it's going to be our star goaltender that's been stealing points for us left and right. And like I said, hopefully tomorrow we get a good diagnosis and he doesn't miss too much time. Stefan Nason with a block and a hit. Nate Bastian, 2 blocks and a hit. Curtis Lazar, 2 blocks, 2 hits. Paul Cotter with 2 hits. Bratter with 1 hit. Brendan Dillon, the junkyard dog of the game trophy, 5 blocks, 2 hits. Yeah, I mean, 3 hits total out of our defense. Dilly with 2 hits and Dougie with 1. Kovacevic, Pesci, Luke Hughes, Siegenthaler, all 0 hits. But Siegenthaler did have 4 blocks. Wow. Greg, yeah, 2 hits from Dillon to 5 blocks. Insane. Devin, we pinned them in their zone for 3+ minutes tonight, 5 on 5. Haven't seen that since December. There was little things to be excited about. And listen, don't get me wrong, I am excited. But the excitement stems more from, dire need. That, like, we needed to show life. And after it was 1-0, I'm not going to lie, I felt a pit in my stomach. When Geeky blasted that thing, the arena was silent. I was like, obviously was looking for the first goal and for the Devils to hopefully play with the lead. And they had to come from behind. But, they overcame that adversity, the Markey injury. Kevin Kirk, no payback for the Markey injury. It's MacDermid. Why does everyone call this guy MacDermid? Please, write it down. My teachers, when I was in grade school, they'd say, write it down 5 times. Muscle memory, whatever they call it. You write it down 5 times, and it kind of sticks in your head. It's MacDermid, MacDermid, MacDermid. Put some respect on this man's name. The toughest man in the national. But no payback for Markey injury. MacDermid was in. Still nothing happens. Scratch my head. Makes us look weak. If it was up to MacDermid, he'd be bashing skulls every game. I 100% believe the coaching staff gives direct orders. And if you deviate from that, it's a good way, if you're a guy like MacDermid, to never see the ice again. Yeah, Traveling Devil, exactly. They don't let MacDermid do his job. I 100% agree. Oh, boy. News coming in. I just got a text. He needs to get an MRI. I don't know. Let me see where my boy's getting this from. He needs to get an MRI. Fingers crossed he doesn't need surgery. It'll heal in a few weeks. If it's torn, he's done for the season. Oh, no. Let me just double check where he's getting this. Where did you get this? Feel like we need to defend Markey more. Too many people got too close to Markey this season. We should have fought for him more. I 100% agree, Nicole. I am an old man now, and again, for the 19,000th time, I grew up watching the Dynasty Devils, and if somebody as much as looked at Marty the wrong way, the Goon Squad was coming for that ass, and they were going to bust it. Whether that was Scott Stevens, Kenny Danico, Colin White, just tons of Lyle Odeline, random guys over the years knew that if you ran Marty, you chopped, you took a little gratuitous chop on the glove after the whistle, you did anything stupid sideways towards Marty, it was going down, baby. There was retributions for those actions. Now I feel like Marky's getting trucked on the nightly, and all we do is the wrestle hug fest. I am tired of the wrestle hug fest, but I don't think it's exclusive to the Devils. I think that is the league we live in now, where all you're going to see is the little, the fake staged wrestling bullshit. I want gloves off, and I want to see broken noses. But, maybe one day we'll see that out of this team. It just seems like a one of those things that's like a bygone kind of element of the game. It's like, yeah, you run the goalie over, and then people, will wrestle you. Although I did see the clip, not to get off on too much of a tangent, but it is on topic of goalies and shit, was hold on. I'm getting a text. Definitely a knee ligament, though. MCL, inner ligament was twisted. I'm trying to figure out where this information is coming from, so bear with me. Brady Tkachuk, one of my favorite non-Devil players in the league, kind of ran over Shesterkin, and there was a little bit of a melee. In that Rangers-Sens game last night. A Senators blowout victory. Hold on. Oh, I think this is speculation. Just hold on. But he needs to get an MRI, which is a little scary. Hopefully it comes out good. Walt. I would expect Poulter to get the call up. Dawes would have to clear waivers to go back down, and I doubt he would make it through without getting picked up right away. Yeah, I can't keep track. I've said before, with all this waiver shit, I'm not good with that. So if that's accurate info, thank you, Walt. I'm terrible with the waiver stuff. So you got to be a full-time lawyer to keep up with this shit. And I think is that maybe the reason why Poulter got the call up last time as well? That makes sense if that's Dawes. Someone would claim Dawes, I'm sure. Kevin Kirk, Boston would expect some kind of payback. It being an unwritten rule and all, we had a big enough lead. Something should have been done. No, you're talking to the wrong guy. If I was the coach, I'd be thrown out of the league because I would have guys going out there breaking kneecaps with shit like this, especially when there's a lead. Shit, some games, even if the game was in jeopardy, I would still send a message. But in a game like that, at some point, it would have been nice to see something happen. But I'm not surprised. Chico would definitely rather have Kakinen right now, to be honest. Yeah, I probably would too. It was kind of weird. He never had a chance really, because Allen was entrenched as the backup from last season. Mac has 21 penalty minutes in 19 games. Terrible. Kakinen is playing for the Manitoba Moose. Damn. Frank, shout out to the 334 Club. Happy anniversary. I'm sure there's none of them in here. That'd be interesting. But for those of you that don't know, the Devils basically played. It's a whole crazy story. So just remember, again, mental note or look at the videos about this. There's been several, I believe. But the 334 Club is a group of people who braved a storm in New Jersey. I believe it was 1987, I think, right? Let me just double check. I think it was 87. Yep. January 22nd, 1987. There was a crazy blizzard in New Jersey, and 334 people supposedly ended up making it to that Devils game. and it was a whole thing. The players were getting stuck in the snow. It's a pretty cool story. So look into that if you're a newer fan and you're not familiar. But that was today's date. 87's 13, 38 years ago. Wow. Husky Unchained, Olivier versus Reeves fight was epic. Maybe fight of the year. Was that tonight? Again, when I was at the game, then I drove here. I'm completely, I'm behind on life. After I get off of here, I kind of go diving into all the stuff. Devils for life. Hit the like button for this huge win, by the way. Yeah, appreciate that. Smash the like for your boy and for your New Jersey Devils. John Woodson, I take Hakkinen back. Low risk, high reward. I thought he had potential. So did I. And his numbers, I'm pretty sure, were, obviously in a small sample size, but they were way better than everybody else. John Fay, Ace, do you think General Keefe should keep these lines together for Saturday against the Canadians? I think I would. I think it'd be kind of crazy to finally win. This 5 goals to the Devils is an offensive explosion. That's an absolute explosion. We hadn't scored 4 since December 27th, and we hadn't scored 5 in 1 day shy of a month. Was the game before that? The game before the holiday break, we beat the Rangers 5-0. That was the last time we scored 5. Today's the 22nd. 1 day shy of a month for 5 goals. And so I think it would be kind of foolish to, go back to the lines from a couple games ago after just 1 game. If the Devils can continue to win games, maybe. For whatever reason, Keefe earlier today, I believe, said, we're struggling, blah, blah, blah. But the lines we had were basically something along the lines of the lines that we were using were the ideal lines, which I thought was kind of interesting because it's like, how ideal can they be, if we had back-to-back games where we scored 1 goal and you're now changing them. So, I think at some point they will try to go back to those, and I don't know why they're so in love with them, but I think it would be nuts to not roll out the same lines the next game just because the boys got to be feeling good. We just won this game. We scored 5 goals for the first time in a month. And so I'll definitely go back to these same lines and see how it goes. Cape Diller, maybe Jake can do to the Habs what our old goalies do to us. That'd be nice. Wolf Rockin', what's going on? We definitely need to build on this win, Ace. I'm getting my dirty devil ready. Cheers, my friend. Let's go, Devils. Cheers to you, Wolf Rockin'. Ace, any cool memorabilia from the Ring of Honor ceremony? No. In a not surprising turn of events, the Devils had absolutely nothing. I got to the arena early, too, as well, because I don't like carrying shit around, so I was going to go try to buy my stuff and then put it back in the car. The Devils had nothing. All I got was this. This is all I got, the giveaway. This is all I got to show. The camera sucks at focusing, but it's the Ring of Honor logo on this little Jacques card. And that was it. That was the only memorabilia. Searle, notice how all of Timo's best scoring chances come from the right. Searle, I gave up talking about it because it was just like, another thing that you become a broken record of. Timo on the right, I mean, it's not rocket science. The proof is there. He made his name in San Jose on the right side on power play 1, blasting him from the circle. And for whatever reason, we're trying to force a square peg in a round home. Like even last season, they were asking Timo about it. And he's like, oh, I could play left or right. It's like, shut up. Technically, yes, you can. You are so much better on the right. Like, and a lot of times, even when he's on left wing, you would see plays where he drives up the ice on the right side. So it is one of those weird things. But they should put him on the right side. It is kind of annoying. He is clearly way better there. John Woodson changing the lines made a difference. Chico, they were mid before the Norovirus from Christmas to about last week. They had 2 good games, 2 bad ones, and the rest were just mid, man, when they got the Norovirus and bottomed out. I'm not accepting the excuse, my man. Sorry. Sorry, not for me. Amagi, what's up? Just got home. So glad to see the huge 5-1 win that silenced all those obnoxious Bruin fans in the building. Worth spilling Bro-Rito. What the hell's Bro-Rito on my Bro-Dur All-Star jersey? I'm not sure. What is that? What is that, Amagi? But thanks for that awesome card, bro. Really appreciate that. That's really cool. The 3D Dana. I'm going to find a nice little home for him somewhere in here. But thanks for that, Amagi. Super dope. Ryan, the Ebug goalie can play for the away team. Just checked. Good call. That's nuts. Yeah, it is crazy to me. I was thinking about this, right? And I was talking to my buddy about it. So I think there is only one Ebug per arena. So hear me out. Let's just say hypothetically I was the Ebug. That I, in some fictitious world, played, college goalie. I was at the Prudential Center and I was the Ebug. And I get called in for, even say tonight's game, for the Bruins, right? But obviously I'm a huge Devils fan. But I'm the Ebug for the arena. The Bruins, 2 goalies go down. I am now thrust into action wearing a Bruins jersey against my favorite club, the New Jersey Devils. In scenarios like that, are the teams in the league, they're basically betting that my personal will and ego to play good in this crazy scenario in an NHL game would outweigh my desire to see my team win. You could get somebody who, if they're the Ebug for the other team, and again, in this case, if it was me, and I'm now the Bruins goalie in this situation, and they're going against the Devils, I knew the Devils needed to win tonight. I could have just let every shot in on purpose. I never understood the Ebug thing. It is a little bit crazy to me. But again, I guess they're just really heavily relying on the fact that people will try as hard as they possibly can in that scenario. It's very weird. John Woodson, I wouldn't change the lines at all on Saturday. Jack needs to play with Cotter. Yeah, I've wanted to see that for quite some time now. Hopefully they could develop some chemistry and start bearing some. But, yeah, I think it was overdue amidst the struggle. Chico, that is enough for me to not enough for me to panic. Now, if we were going into the 4 Nations break without any good games and I'm on board the panic train, Chico, you are a lunatic, dude. A loony. The 4 Nations break. If we kept dropping games up until the 4 Nations break, we could be in a wild card spot by then. That is way too long, my friend. I officially hit the panic button after the weekend. The way that those games played out, that was panic button shit. Stickfigs Comets got a 7-1 win over the Islanders today. Nice. Evan Burton, in a perfect world, what would your top choice for Fitz to acquire right now? Are you assuming, again, what I say is in a vacuum, without, knowing what it would cost and all that? I mean, everyone's been saying it, and I think it would be a great fit is Ryan O'Reilly. I would love to have. I think he's going to be expensive in terms of assets to bring him over, but, I think he would be a monster. Evan, sup Ace, what's going on? Jason, no Ace, I forgot what a W feels like. So do I. I'm like, wait, I was trying to think when I fired it up because I came in here. I came running in hot into the studio, rushing out of the car. I had the general on the thing, and I get in here. I turn on all the shit, and I'm like, wait, what do I do when we win again? I was like, there's I got the sound bites. I'm like, oh, it's coming back to me now. I'm getting rusty. I'm getting rusty on the controls and switches out here. That's how long it's been. It's been since we got the win. Samuel, what's going on? I wanted Mercer to get the hat trick tonight, but still felt good. Yeah, Hattie's awesome. I was getting ready. You already know my long reported viewpoints on the hat trick, and I was getting ready to donate another one. Ryan finally scored more than 2 goals. John Fay, I think we run with these lines until 4 Nations to see what they're capable of. I mean, that'd be a pretty good sample size. Richard, Montreal's going to be an interesting matchup. They've been playing well, except for the game the Leafs blew them up, scoring 7 goals after blowing a 3-0 lead. Damn. All right, I'm super behind. I'm going to try to skip ahead a little bit here. Jay Snow, as long as we're cycling and tough on the boards, I don't care about hits. Buddy, come on. They kind of go hand in hand. And again, this is regular season. We're going to be rolling into February. Teams are going to be playing for keeps. You could say, I just want to cycle and be tough on the boards all you want. Hitting goes hand in hand with that. Coordinator, better keep this momentum up or else Fitzy needs to go. Jay Snow, after Boston scored that first goal, it felt like here we go again. Oh, absolutely. My stomach sank. I was like, oh, I came here to see the Jacques Ring of Honor ceremony, see the legends, and hopefully see the boys respond. And if they just fold up like nothing out here, it would have been pretty bad. Chico, if he's done for the season, Fitz needs to make a trade ASAP. Honestly, if I own the Devils and he doesn't have something after the Four Nations break, I'm firing him, and I'm not kidding. You have to understand that the owners don't know jack shit about hockey. That is what a lot of the people are concerned about, and it's a concern of mine. They are private equity business tycoons, and in the end, the Devils are not really, they're essentially an asset on a spreadsheet and a profit center. So they look at this, and it is a cause for concern. The biggest kind of glaring issue to me was last season when Dougie went down, that we did not use his LTIR money to try to make a run at the playoffs. I thought was a pretty telling kind of scenario, and it kind of bothered me. But if he's down, are you saying we need to trade for a starting goalie that you're going to start over Jake Allen? I would say the odds of that are probably pretty damn slim. Who's going to be available that you're going to have more confidence in being your 1A guy, than Jake Allen? I think it'd be far more likely that Jake Allen is now thrust into the 1A spot and they look for a new 1B if they don't think one of the kids like Poulter or Dawes are ready. Death to Kong MRI is pretty standard procedure now. I could see that too. It's like, oh, you have a leg injury, just give him the MRI. Would have been nice to get Blackwood back. If Markey's out for a bit, I expect Fitz to trade for a tender, possibly Gibson. No way. Gibson gets paid a lot. And I think he's trash. He's got 3. Yeah, he's 36. And he's got 2 more years on his deal after this at a $6.4 million cap hit. No thanks. I will pass. Hard pass. I'm losing my spot here. Jack belongs on the third line. That is quite a hot take. That's pretty hot. Askarov from San Jose. They're definitely not trading him. That's their guy of the future. Smell check ace. I know. MacDermid. Yep. Woodson 100%. San Jose's never giving up Askarov. He's their franchise goalie now. Exactly. Unhinged Devs fan. Yanni playing in the Lemaire ceremony. Yep. An iconic track from the old era. Playing during the Ring of Honor ceremony for Jacques while the guys were coming out. Yeah, like I said, I'll have a vlog probably coming. I don't know what day it is anymore, guys. What the hell day is today? Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. So the vlog video will probably come out Friday morning. It could possibly come out tomorrow, but probably Friday morning. And I was dead center ice. Got a nice little video of the ceremony. Dun, dun, dun. Let me see what else we got. You could probably get Kakinen back for cheap. Devils 25 ace. How the hell was Nico left off the Devils quarter century team? Yeah, SST told me to make a video about this, and maybe I will do that as well. Where the hell is it? Yeah, I've been meaning to look at it. Yeah, so the first team is the Scots and Marty. I mean, if there was ever an obvious, if there was ever a given, that certainly seemed like it would be it. And then they went Patty, Jack, and Zach, which, if I had to guess what they would have picked, I probably would have picked that they would give this. And there are my boys on the second. Jamie Langenbrunner, Gomer, and Travis Zajac. Franchise legends with Green and Rafalski on D. And Schneid's in the net. Wow. Yeah, maybe I will do my own first and second teams. I mean, obviously, they're going to be fairly similar, but I would have some differences for sure. They're going with point production. That's how they're going to do it. And I guess they're not really caring about. Are they just picking 3 forwards regardless of position? Yeah, I'll take a look at this later. That could be a video that I do. I forgot about that. Army says, Alan going to move our draft pick. We traded up around now to Montreal because games played. Maybe not, though. What was it, 40 games? How many games is he at right now? He still may not. Oh, no, he's played 15 games. Unless Markey's completely done, I don't think he'll hit the games in the thing because we only got 32 games left. He would need to play like 25 of them. I believe that was the number. It was 40 games. Someone in the comments, I believe it was 40 games to activate it to like a second rounder or whatever it was. Yeah, Woodson only moves to a second rounder if he plays 40 games. Polter, Dawes, or whoever would only have to play 7-8 games the rest of the season to keep it a third rounder. That's exactly what I just said. I can't see it happening. That'd be a wild workload. I mean, if they don't let anyone play a ton, that they wouldn't let Markey play that kind of workload. 25 out of 32. They're gonna be like, "What are you guys trying to do? Kill the man? He has a family. How are you gonna overwork the goalie like that?" Chico, maybe it's my turn to panic, but honestly, if Fitz sits on his hands again this season with Markey out for the year, you fire him, in my opinion. Oh, so now this is what I said. A lot of people came at me because I was super critical of Fitz last season. Again, I'm a win now guy. I want to make the playoffs at all costs. Even if you don't think the team could go far, I do not give a shit. You do everything you could do to get the team in the playoffs and give them a chance to make a run. We didn't do anything last year, and I was super critical for that reason. I was like, how did you not get us a goalie? We were drowning because of bad goalie play. We had Dougie's LTIR money we did nothing with, and I was furious about last season. I felt like the organization just chalked it up and said, screw it, let's see how high of a draft pick we could get. And I really felt that way. And I do believe that if we had gotten even a Jake Allen or anyone like him, or even Kakinen in February, we could have made a legitimate run to the playoffs. With all that being said, I was fired up. I was super critical of Fitz. And I was like, let me calm down. Let's see what he does this summer. I'm not going to lie. I praised the offseason moves, and I still do. All of them, with the exception of, I just bit my tongue. All of them, with the exception of Tatar, were phenomenal moves. Brendan Dillon, Pesci, Stilling Kovacevic, Markey, Paul Cotter, Stefan Nason. I mean, these are among some of our best performers on the season. So I do believe he did his job very well this offseason. But now this is where GMs are really made, in my opinion. And this is where, I will give my kind of final verdict. To your point, Chico, is that now we're in this position, regardless of how we play kind of coming into the deadline. What do you do in season? What are your in-season moves? Because all you old fans remember how gangster Lou Lamoriello was with the tinkerings at the deadline, or even sometimes earlier in the season. Always had the knack for bringing in guys to push us over the hump to make a playoff run, and we're going to see what Fitzy has in him. If he decides to sit idly, your boy is coming back out for blood. Absolutely. Brandon, let's go Devils. They were like junkyard dogs in front of the net last night. A lot of players stepped up to the plate. Hope that keeps up. Markey got injured, but to be honest, the injury could be a lot worse. We got lucky. I don't think we know anything yet. It could still be bad. Chico, Keefe is a don't rock the boat kind of coach. When we find something that works, these are the lines until he needs to change things up again. Maybe. Samuel, love old school hockey too, but you can't play that way today. After suspension, your AHL team would be your starting team. I don't know what that's in reference to, but you could still play physical. Thirst for war. I told you my Devils were going to stomp my wife's Bruins. Well, I guess you have house bragging rights now. You got the bragging rights. Rupesh, going to inject some positivity here. The stretch, again, I'm out here deciphering. This stretch has been bad, but the LA crap disallowed goal, a shootout loss, post and OT against the Leafs, the ref keeping the puck in against SJ, they'll be fine. So that is all, and in conjunction with getting some of the loser points, that is what kept me mentally sane during that stretch. Where I broke down was the weekend. I was telling everyone going into the weekend, now we're going to see what this group is made of, because we were already on a skid before then. Let's see what the boys do at home with a back-to-back Flyers and Senators, and they looked like absolute dog shit in both games. 13 shots total against the Flyers, pathetic, and then 3 shots in the third period of the season against the Senators, and that was pretty much my breaking point. I was like, okay, I'm pressing the panic button. I've seen enough. Not only did we lose, we lost super ugly in a very uninspired effort. Last year's games are included for Allen. He played like 30 games already. Are you sure about that? Paul, Ace, as far as memorabilia, I bid on a Lemaire signed puck. Haven't found out yet if I won. Nice. Very nice. Evan, I know it's a pipe dream, but we have an opportunity and can't go back to giving up goals left and right like last season. Get well soon, Marky prayers with Nashville struggling Soros. Evan, come on, Evan. We're not getting Soros. Man, some of you guys come up with these like NHL video game trades. Chico, not accepting excuse is not an excuse. It's what happened. I'm sorry that you're still too emotional to look at things reasonably. No, it has nothing to do with emotion. When it was asked about it, even Keefe said this is a bullshit excuse. What do we have? One guy out? Come on, man. I know you're looking for whatever you want, whatever you want to call it, things to support your narrative, but I'm not. If you're playing in the game, then you're good to go. If they were that bad, they wouldn't have been playing. Bro, Rito is an awesome concession stand. It's a food truck partnering with The Rock. It's delicious and a great bang for your buck, and you're welcome. Oh, yeah. It's a food truck. Is it upstairs? The Norovirus might have been an issue since the break. I'm not buying it. Oh, shit. That's awesome, Amagi. My friend is Ebug for the Stars, and I never understood how it goes both ways. You'd think the road team would bring an Ebug along with them. I mean, that also seems so crazy, too, because it's so rare that the Ebug gets into play. Like, it would be kind of wild to, travel around with this extra dude. For the very unlikely chance that they ever play. Yeah, David Ayers did that against the Maple Leafs while being the Maple Leafs emergency goalie. Was he the Hurricanes, like Zamboni driver or some shit? I can't remember all the details. Or it was the other way around. He played for the Hurricanes and he was the Maple Leafs Zamboni driver. It's a while home. My brain is a little fuzzy. I think maybe that's what it was. Yeah. He played for the Canes, but I think he was was he a Leafs fan and the Leafs Zamboni driver? I'm trying to get the details now. It's been a couple years. Morgan, I'm of the opinion that Ebug shouldn't be a thing. Have a skater get dressed in the goalie's gear. My buddy I was at the game with tonight said the same thing because we were talking about the Ebug situation. And he was like, imagine if if a random player just played goalie. But the reality is the Ebug always has some sort of high-ish level of play as a goalie. And so the Ebug is definitely going to be better than just you picking a random guy to play goalie. Like, what are the odds that Paul Cotter or Dougie Hamilton or anybody for that matter could put on the pads and play goalie better than someone who's played goalie at a high level just because they're an NHL player at a different position? Not very likely. Daniel, hold the effing phone. You're telling me that there's one designated emergency backup goalie, only one for just both teams in an emergency situation. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we're telling you. I'm pretty sure it was confirmed. Yep, one emergency goalie per game. Woodson, I could be the Ebug. I'd hit more playing goalie than the whole team for the game. Oh, man. Firing Keefe would be moronic. If the team were falling apart, you don't fire the coach. At this point, you move the players. Oh, no, I wouldn't. I'm not remotely even considering firing Keefe. I think that's crazy. JT Miller to the Devils. I just can't see it. Chico says keep JT Miller as far away from the Devils as possible. I don't know if I feel that way either. Like I keep saying, in a vacuum, I think Miller could be a good player. But it's I think his contract and his age is just a bad combination. Devils 25. David Ayers beat the Leafs, had to dress as a Hurricane even though he worked for the Leafs. Okay, so that's yeah. Yeah, again, they're betting on the person playing goalie as the Ebug that they want to perform well for themselves and whatever team they're filling in for, more so than they want to let the other team win. Dimitri, I know JT Miller has talent, but I think he's a cancer in the dressing room. I mean, that's what everyone's saying. Jack, Devils had a multi-goal lead tonight. First one since December 27th versus Carolina. Imagine that. Anthony, Ace, were you at the game? What was up with all the hot dogs being thrown into the crowd? I thought it was super weird. A lot of these things in the middle of the game I do find odd. Like the T-shirt toss is one thing, and I think I'll have a snippet of this in my vlog. But like there was someone dressed in like a hot dog mascot outfit, and they were like launching hot dogs into the crowd. I thought it was bizarre as hell. One of the weirdest forced sponsorship moments I've ever seen. Thought it was very strange and bizarrely entertaining at the same time. All right. Chico, Joe Mama, that's a real problem. The team is way too dependent on special teams, and that has to change. I agree there. We all wanted the Hattie, Maria. You know I love throwing my hat out there. A few years ago, the Toronto Ebug beat his hometown Toronto team for the Carolina Hurricanes. John Ayers. Close. It was David Ayers. This was all in the chat before. Morgan Williams. Dubas has said any vet not named Crosby is up for trades. Malkin for 3C. So that's not what he said. I would love Malkin. I'm a sucker for the stars and guys that I think have some balls and are winners, and I think Geno Malkin fits the bill. With that being said, the quote I had read the other day was, anyone not named Crosby, Malkin, or the two young guys, who I think were Pickering, and I forget the other one. And then so everyone was like, so basically you're only trading like spare parts and scraps. And that's essentially what it equated to, was basically like their two most promising prospects, and then the two old dogs, legends, Geno and Sid, were not on the block. So it was like you have nothing that people would want other than overpriced defenseman contracts, which I think are Carlson and Letang. Seth, when do you think we will get an update on Markey? You're going to get some vague one tomorrow. I don't think we have any real answers for maybe a few days. Max, what's going on? What up, Ace? This game is everything our team needed. Giveaways still need to come down, but we broke the seal. Biggest question, can we do it again? We're going to find out. Jake Allen is going to be fired up. Jake Allen is going to be fired up and in the net against his former club, the Montreal Canadiens. And like someone pointed out in the chat, hopefully he could do to the Canadiens what our former goalies have been doing to us all season long. Hits are nice, but they don't mean anything unless you're winning the puck back. Yeah, but you still got to hit. Even when hitting is part of the game. You got to just condition this team for playoffs. If you think you're going to not hit guys in the playoffs and win, I got some news for you that it ain't happening. Chico, Markey potentially being out for the season is enough to get me a panic a little. That would be brutal, man. Ryan, the man, Markey's getting MRI tomorrow, so we'll probably get an update on him tomorrow. Ryan Fisher says, LOL, trade for a goalie. They don't have cap space and can't score. They scored tonight. Yo, Holmes just got back. Boston sucks. LJ, no way we would trade for a goalie. I don't think so either. Jay Snow, add that money to LTIR and trade for a forward. That'd be interesting. Kieran, didn't see the post-game presser. Was the general asked about the lack of response on the Markey hit? Did the general comment on the lack of response on the Markey hit? I don't think he was. I was in the car, and I had it playing, and it cut out at the very end. Something happened with the app, but no one's going to ask that. These people, I think people just have accepted the pacifist version of New Jersey Devils hockey. Chico, build to the net out right now. The Devils, in my opinion, have one NHL goaltender and are an injury away from having pretty much nothing in net. It's a fair point, but again, I think if you are going to trade for a goalie, it's more of an insurance policy at that point, an insurance policy on Jake Allen versus finding a guy that you're going to start over Jake Allen. People are throwing out crazy names. Chico, in my opinion, if you get to a point where it's Dawes and Poulter in net for the NHL club, the season is lost and someone needs to be fired. I wouldn't say the season's necessarily lost, but I do think someone should get fired. If you allow it to get to that tandem, someone should be fired. But if the team can continue to score, I do think with the much improved defense, if the team can score consistently, we could potentially win with Poulter or Dawes in net. Obviously, it's not ideal, and I'm not like, oh my God, what a great scenario for us. But I don't think it would be. I think we'd still have a fighting chance. Searle says Chico from the net out is pre-cap Aaron continues to show. For all we know, Allen plays out of his mind until Markstrom comes back. I wouldn't get anyone expensive. Not that we could. No, but I think his point is that, right now, if without any other moves, you are a Jake Allen injury away, essentially, from probably having the tandem of Poulter and Dawes, which is less than ideal. You'd hope for the best, but, it's not a situation you want to be in. Insane Pollock, as soon as I saw what Keith said about Bastion and that he deserved it, I said, oh, man, Jay Snow probably pissed. Yo, Holmes just picked the best 8. Second team is stupid. Yeah, I can see that. SST, I got 9 out of 10 players correct on the Devils quarter century team. I'm assuming you did not have, well, maybe you had Jack Hughes in your second team. I wouldn't be shocked if you didn't have him in your first or second team. When we talk about 9 out of 10, there's 6 on each. There's 12 guys. 6 on the first team, 6 on the second team. Max Poulter win tonight 7-1, and Jack Malone had a hat trick. Hallinan got a Gordie Howe. Nice. Chico at Searle. Point remains the Devils still have 1 NHL quality goal, and you're not going to go far with that. Chico, teams who lose both their goalies don't usually win the cup. It's called bad luck. Better luck next year. Oh man. LJ, word was Key flipped on the boys this morning practice. Probably didn't want them to embarrass him in front of Jacques. Yep, that came out from, I forget, was it Amanda Stein or somebody tweeted that. Evan, great point, Ace. We need to give ourselves every opportunity to be successful. Look at creative ways. Give us someone who can get us where we want to be. I think we are going to play for Markey Wright. Brian J., who says Markey's out for the season. Keith said he'll miss some time, but Markey was feeling a lot better. That's all lip service, man. I'm waiting to see. Chico says all I saw was Markey's in good spirits. Let's see what the results of that MRI are. But we're going to definitely get the generic lower body injury week to week, whatever it is. And then hopefully we get a definitive answer at some point. Chico, it has everything to do with emotion. It's not a narrative. It's what happened. You have to look at the facts, and you want to go so far as to go full panic and throw around third period of the season. Yo, it was the third period of the season. I don't know why you think that that's funny. It's not funny. It was a disgusting period, and it was the third period of the season. Hands down. Hands down. John Woodson, the third-round pick, will become New Jersey's second-round pick if in 2025 if Allen plays in 40 or more games during the 24-25 season, and if New Jersey qualifies for the 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs. Yeah, so that's what I thought, Woodson. I didn't think it was a cumulative thing, including last year. That would have been bizarre. Markey's not going to be out for the season. Everyone take it easy. Again, I don't know how anyone could know any of this. We're waiting to see the results. SST, he says SST is drunk. David Ayers was the lead Zamboni driver, played for the Canes anyway. It's crazy. Max, there's a knee doctor that analyzes the videos. He said most likely 4 to 6 weeks. That is brutal. 6 weeks basically brings us to the trade deadline. Yeah, that's like literally right at the trade deadline. Wow. Wow. What's wrong with free hot dogs? Says Jay Snow. John Fay, the hot dog being thrown into the crowd is a little strange and weird. I thought it was odd. I was like, what the hell is this? Joe Mama, my local WHL team launches hot dogs into the crowd. I caught one and it was cold and disgusting. Yeah, I'd imagine it would be. A hot dog thrown into the crowd. Paulie Walnuts went to the game tonight. Nice to see and meet some of the alumni. Costly win. Hope Markey doesn't miss a lot of time. Yeah. Jack, if 25 is out for over a month, would you acquire a veteran goaltender for relatively cheap, or would you defer to Dawes / another Utica guy? I don't know. We have other needs that are more pressing. I guess it depends on how long Markey's out for. I might roll the dice. And just hope he doesn't get hurt. And then if he does, then make a panic move, like try to get a guy like a Kakinen, or you find somebody out there. It's maybe not a wise thing, but I'm not looking to trade for guys that, aren't going to have a long-term home. I feel like Allen, as long as he doesn't get hurt, he will do okay for the team while Markey's out. And then you bring up one of the kids. But I could see the people that kind of want the contingency plan in place and to get somebody, but we're not going to have a lot of resources and cap space to spend. And so I'm hoping all of that goes into the efforts of fixing the roster elsewhere. Chico, half the Devils media work for the team. They're not going to ask any hard questions. Of course not. NJ Swamp Fox. Best possible prognosis would be a sprain, but the way Markey's left foot was caught, a ligament tear is possible. Oh, man. John Woodson, only 6 Ebugs used in NHL history. I can't believe there hasn't been more. Well, I mean, think about it. It takes a lot for it to happen. For both goalies to get hurt in a game is kind of wild. I mean, I guess in NHL history, you'd think maybe more than 6 times, but yeah, I mean, it's not that surprising. Blackatron, thank you for the super. Sir, just got home from work, under the weather, high on NyQuil. Cry me to sleep, doomers. Oh, man, thanks to the super. Blackatron, that is hilarious. Damn, just got home from work, huh? Well, enjoy your NyQuil. I don't know if you saw the game or not, but you may want to consider at least watching the highlights, because your New Jersey Devils laid the smacketh down off of a beautiful second period surge to take out the Boston Bruins. But thank you for the super, sir. Hope you feel better. Take those meds. Chico, AHL Tandem. Now, if they call up Dawes or Poulter, I'm their biggest fan overnight, and I want nothing more than for them to prove me wrong. It might be doable if Allen keeps his form up. Yeah, I think if, as long as it's nothing crazy, Allen could hold the fort down for a little while. Obviously, if we're talking about the season, then, then I have to reevaluate my entire life. If Markey's out for the season, holy shit, how terrible that would be. John Fay, right, Ace, I'm off for the night. What a game, what a win. Let's hope they can keep the momentum going. Let's go Devils. Good night, John. Hopefully they do, and it's going to start Saturday night in Montreal. Well, Markey gets hurt, and suddenly people think Fitz can wave his magic wand and land for a top-tier starting netminder, because it's so easy to pull that off. I think last year would, prove quite the opposite, right? We couldn't get anybody. Nobody was available until the deadline, and then poof, 2 goalies show up at once when it was too late. Brian, every team is 1 or 2 injuries away from having questionable starting goaltenders. That's 100% true. My first was spot on. On the second team, I had Nico instead of Gomer. You had Jack Hughes on your first team, or you were just predicting what they were going to pick? John Whitson, we weren't winning with Markey at a 9-12 win. I guess that's supposed to be save percentage. The offense is the problem. They can't consistently score. Yeah, I agree. I think as long as we're scoring with the defense we have, I think any competent NHL goalie could give us a chance to win some of these games. Colby, I wonder how low-quality Bruins fan is feeling. I'm sure he'll tell you soon, right? I don't know how his thing works, but we won for Jacques. That was very big. Ariel just got back from the game. My voice hurts from cheering at the game. Decided to check in. Let's go Devils. Have a good night, everyone. Good night to you. I think your coordinator, I think you meant to put Rogalski. You have Roglowski. And I'm assuming you're talking to the goaltending coach, Dave Rogalski. Woodson, you said Rachel's better than Erica. Allen's game played our seasons combined, and now only 10 players. Go to bed, brother. I think that's in reference to something SST was saying. Chico, third period of the season, they had just bottomed out the night before on Norovirus. We're mid before that. If you're expecting instant balance pass, you're likely. Chico, what are you talking about? One guy was out with this virus. What are you excuses, brother? Excuses. I am not excusing that performance because of Norovirus, and neither the coach did not. If the coach did not, then you shouldn't. You're making shit up. Sheldon Keefe said, when it was asked about it, he said, that is a bullshit excuse. And again, if the guys were that sick, they wouldn't have been playing like Stefan Nason wasn't. So you're making shit up, quite frankly. Quite frankly, you are making shit up. Woodson says Rachel can play hockey, but I'm not worried about playing hockey. Max, I would assume we would see a call up tomorrow via the Devils media team. Yeah, I think so. Oh, man, I forgot about that. Great point, Meadowlander. If Markey's out 4 weeks, 2 of them will be Four Nations face-off. We could win with Jake. Totally forgot about that. And that sucks for Markey that he now may miss, very likely could miss playing for Sweden in the Four Nations. And now his misfortune is someone else is probably going to get, called up to fill in his absence. Max has just signed Kincaid because why not? Hard pass for me. Colby, NHL goaltender is the most important position in sports besides an NFL QB. And I would argue, Major League Baseball pitcher. Coordinator, I didn't mean Rogalski. He is the worst goalie coach in the league. I mean, what are you basing that on? How could you even know that? Jay Snow, yeah, I really want to see the Devils at a forward, though. Huge stretch for Forge of Four Nations. Christian, people are overreacting. Allen was a starter for Montreal. If anything, just a rental backup will suffice as long as the scoring keeps up. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Will the scoring keep up? Colby, Bruins are that one team that holds on for dear life longer than they should. When Bruins are out of luck and emotional bursts, they totally collapse like tonight. With this virus, Chico, it's a freaking stomach virus. What do you expect them to say, bro? Hockey players play with broken bones. They're going to play through Norovirus if they can, but it's going to affect their play. Anson, how do you rank the following? Goaltending, defense, bottom 6, top 6. If you're talking about on the season, goaltending would be for me. Goaltending would be number 1. Defense would be number 2. Top 6 would have to be number 3, and bottom 6 would be 4. So essentially the way you wrote it out, except just flip bottom 6 and top 6, and that would be how I would rank them. Jay Snow, who gets the shits for 3 weeks? Chico is literally making stuff up to fit his narrative as to why people that are panicked, because I proclaimed I was panicked and he's trying to say whatever he wants because, he's a know-it-all like some of these other people, and then trying to be like, it's so easily explained by the Norovirus. Like, no. Sorry, bro. No. Sorry, Chico, but no. Give yourself Norovirus and then go do anything, much less play NHL hockey, and tell me your performance doesn't suffer. I'm not debating that it would suffer. What I'm telling you is it's a bullshit excuse, like Keith said, and I don't believe that most of the guys had it, or they would not have played like Stefan Nason didn't. And it's still an excuse. Exactly, coordinator. Evan, the Ottawa and Philadelphia games are clearly our worst. We flat out stunk in front of home crowds in a big weekend. This was a boost tonight, but we need to string together performance. 100% agree. Chico, I never said that. I never said once that I blame the entire thing on Norovirus. To bring up the virus at all is nonsensical, bro. Let it go. You've lost. Bringing up the virus at all is irrelevant. Evan, remember when Allen had that good run last year? He was basically the starter. He's used to this. Yeah, I mean, this is what he's kind of been waiting for, his chance. Not that he wanted Markey to get hurt, but he wants to show he's a starting goalie. Again, I don't, if he thinks he's going to be a starter somewhere next year, maybe that could be delusional, but maybe it isn't. If someone will take a chance on him, if the Devils move on from him. Jay Snow, Bruins had tons of injuries tonight. Devils got to beat Montreal. No excuses. Coordinator, Allen would have to play better than he did as a former Blues goalie. Load up my comments in the last couple games and show me where I blamed it all on the Norovirus. To even talk about the Norovirus is dumb. Nason sat out. Other guys, if they had it, if it was anything really hampering them in some way, they wouldn't have played. So we missed Nason. I mean, what are you talking about? Is SST drunk right now? Elliot Friedman reporting JT been traded to the Devils. Details are being finalized. No way. I can't see that. Is he drunk? He might be. Yeah, fake news. Max says, I'm going to Philly Monday night and we'll be at the Rock Wednesday. Anyone else going to be there? Anson, Scott Stevens looks mean as hell. Jay Snow, Ace, I had the flu 3 years ago. It's affecting my work. Yeah, Jay Snow, you should tell your employer that you really need to take a couple days off. You got to make sure, you take care of your health is the most important thing. So you got to make sure you shut it down. Insane Pollock, the virus is going around the locker room and looks like Palat has it now. I'm thinking some guys played with it in the afternoon games against the Flyers and Sens. I am not buying into this bullshit. If they were really sick, they wouldn't have played. It's that simple. And so we didn't have Nason. We didn't have Palat tonight. And I didn't want to be the guy to mention it, but maybe is it possible that the team got a benefit of addition by subtraction with Palat out of the lineup? I mean, I think Palat's a valuable player, but sometimes I look at these things and I'm like, are they related in any way? Or is it just a product of the team snapping out of it overall? Or is it a product of the line changes? NJ Swamp Fox, Ace, please ignore the virus crap. Yeah, I'm done talking about this. Devils sucked for weeks before anyone had it. I agree. I completely agree. They were terrible for a long time. At the game, did you know about Jack missing end of first and beginning of second periods? A bit of the scare there. No, I missed that. And then I heard in the post game that I think from Keefe, that he had a couple stitches on his finger at some point. Well, I have to double check it. I didn't think it was true. I just had to double check. I had, oh, he got me. It took me 3 seconds to go to the guy's Twitter and see it was bullshit. Oh, he got me. Good one, guys. What a prank. I mean, come on. Colby, so much for my preseason prediction of the Canucks winning the Cup. I'm an idiot again. Swamp Fox says hard no on JT. I think whatever this virus thing is different than other types of injuries. Like, it's going to be hard to Chapman says there's 0% chance of someone skating 2-3 miles in 1 hour with a virus. They simply played like shit. That's what I'm saying. LJ says, I think the Norovirus is code for MFers now getting scratched. Wow. That would be interesting. If they just lie and they're basically guys are getting healthy scratched, but they're just saying they're injured or sick. That is so funny. John Woodson, I'm allergic to gluten. I have the pressure washer shits all year and still go to work. Yeah. But Woodson, your work is probably not as physical of nature in nature as professional sports. I mean, there's levels to this thing. Oh man, I'm stretching it out. All right, guys, it's late. You know what time of the show it is. I am going to take a bathroom break for 2 minutes. Drank a lot of fluids today. I'm going to take this bathroom break. And let's see what comment, any questions, comments, whatever you guys got, chuck it out there in the chat. And I will be back in 2 minutes and we will start winding this thing down to wow. What a night, though. What a night. The Dynasty Devils, guys. They were in the building. And the New Jersey Devils paid their respects with a 5-1 victory over the Boston Bruins, getting a very, very, very needed 2 points. All right, be back in 2 minutes. Throw it all out there in the comments. We'll start winding this thing down. And what a game. What a game. What a night. What a beautiful sight to see these legends. I'll be back in 2 minutes. I look forward to seeing what you lunatics come up with in the comments. I hope I don't get the virus, though. Oh. Meadowlander, did you think Whitey was out of place with the 1995 alumni at the Lemaire ceremony? I think they just kind of brought all the alumni out. It wasn't. It technically was a ceremony for Lemaire more so than it was the 1995 team, but because Jacques was the coach of the 1995 Stanley Cup team, you're obviously going to see a heavy 1995, Stanley Cup championship team influence kind of on the entire thing. But it wasn't strict. It really was for Jacques, right? So, Colin White played for Jacques. And so, anyone who played for Jacques during that time, and Colin White is with the Alumni, as is Travis Zajac, and that is why both of those gentlemen were part of the ceremony, and I have no problem with that. Darth says, get well soon, Markstrom. Let's go Devils. Yeah, we need Marky back as soon as possible. Traveling Devil, who of all the legends you met last night was your first time meeting them? Come on, Traveling. For real? The answer to that question is 0. I've met everybody, baby. Listen, part of the reason I was always a documenter. Like, I always, before social media and all this shit, I was always taking pictures like for my own kind of memories. I always was big into photography and video. And so like I have stuff that was never meant to be shared with other people outside of myself. Like, okay, like, this is a picture of me and Gomer at the Devils' old practice facility, probably in 03 or 04. Young Ace, young Gomer. There's me and Sarge. But I was always doing this stuff for myself. And then with social media, now people do it like they take photos with the intent to post it on there. But I was doing this stuff for years and years, for my own kind of documentation forever. And so, I don't know, whenever I started this, I never planned on incorporating that into it. Like I said, I've explained before, I was just putting up videos of cool shit at games and like trolling the Ranger fans after Game 7. And then I was like, should I incorporate this other stuff? It was stuff I was already doing anyway without the sharing it component. So the answer to your question, Traveling, I've been going to these types of events and signings and practices my whole life. And so I've been blessed living in the area with access to these guys. I've met all these guys a ton of times, to be quite, honest about it, tons of times. But as we get further away from when these things happened and as time goes on, it does become more special. And especially with the Devils sucking, because then it really starts to, not that I needed the Devils to suck to really appreciate it, but it makes you appreciate it even more, because this team for the past 10 years hasn't even sniffed the Stanley Cup, right? I mean, we played in 3 playoff rounds total. The Lightning smoked us in that year that Taylor Hall dragged us in 17-18. And then the 22-23 season, we kind of caught lightning in a bottle. The league wasn't ready for us. And the Devils beat the Rangers in that 7 games and then got crushed by Carolina. So, in 10 years, when you think about all the stuff, you're like, wow, these dynasty years where they were, perennial playoff contenders and potential cup threats in any given season, you really start to appreciate how good and how rare that really was. There's a young Ace. Yeah, I got to figure out how to get this shit so that I could show stuff where it focuses better. But that's a young Ace and a young Mike Rupp. These are just some photos I happen to have nearby. I have millions of photos like this from over the years. But young Ace and young Patty Eliash with the frosted tips of the highlights. Man, oh man. Yeah, so none of them were the first time Traveling, but talking to them at length like that in adulthood is a little different than when I was younger. John Woodson, I'm a golf pro. Oh, wow. I mean, it's still not quite, NHL hockey level Woodson, but props too. That definitely is way more I have a buddy that's a golf pro as well. That is way more physically demanding than, 90% of jobs or so, for sure. I heard Mark, he left the ice because he had to drop a deuce. Oh, boy. Evan, going to Minnesota game March 29th to the back-to-back versus the Wild. That'll be a huge test for us. It's Margaritaville night out there. Hawaiian shirts, Devils Nations, let's show out, heading to the playoffs. Oh, I would love it. I said this so many times. Devils Hall, I got the invite because it was a VIP party, and I have VIP friends that invited me. Good friends. So that's how. I would have guessed Lou or Jacques. I would think they're hard to get close to. Not back in the day, they weren't. No. It was a different world. Social media ruined everything. People that didn't or don't genuinely give a shit other than taking photos and doing all this nonsense like for social media. Like, you know, when I was taking all these photos with these guys and all the shit back, no one was really doing that. And again, it was for myself. It wasn't with the intent to share with the public. And now everyone's running around with phones in everybody's face, and then the whole world has changed. For the worst, obviously. But it is what it is. Someone ambushed Barzal like an asshole when he stopped to sign something to them. What do you mean by ambushed? Magus? I don't know. I hope and think this win was a turnaround for the Devils team. I hope so. I'm not going to call it that yet, but I hope it was. And maybe it is. Let's see what happens. You know, now they got to build on it and win another big one in Montreal. Meadowlander, where was that dinner? The Chart House in Weehawken on the Hudson? No, it was at the Liberty House in Jersey City. Dr. Brian, man, I went to the game today and it was electric. So glad we took a big win today, boys. Oh, I am very ecstatic with the win. If they lost tonight, given everything, that the legends in the building, that we needed the 2 points, it would have been awful. Absolutely awful. Coordinator, this is why I'm worried about this franchise relocating. Don't worry about that, bro. It's never happening. They own the arena, so that's, you know, that pretty much locks them in there. Jay Snow, ace in the suite with the entire 95 team. Everyone there is like, who is this guy? Nah. Thirst for war. We should have repeated in 01, but the league screwed us to give Ray Bork a cup. I mean, the Devils screwed themselves. At home, up 3-2 in the series for Game 6. The cup in the building. Your boy Ace was in the building, and they couldn't get it done. They couldn't get it done. Chico, oh man, when you're a kid meeting some of those legends, it's like Santa's real. Now as an adult, I'm more like he'd probably be fun to have a beer with. Sort of. Christian Swayman left during intermission, never returned to the bench. Was he hurt too, or just spoiled up giving the 4? I wanted to know that as well. It is weird if he just like threw a tantrum and didn't come back. I was meaning to look into that too. So many questions that I don't know the answer to because I was just watching the Devils post or listening to the Devils MSG broadcast in my car on the way home, and then I literally got here and came right on here. SST, you haven't done 5K giveaway. Is that because I'd swoop all the prizes? Well, how would you swoop all the prizes? Because a lot of them are going to be completely random. I will do that soon. I'll make an announcement soon. I'm just busy with so much shit. And I have to figure out some logistic stuff. I'm hoping to do the giveaway probably during the Four Nations break. I'm hoping to get a lot of stuff kind of out of the way and handled during the Four Nations break. So stay tuned for an announcement on that. Chico, ambushing Barzal. Someone got Barzal to stop to sign something and then like grilled him about what he actually said on the bench. He got clipped seemingly saying this place is empty. Oh, I heard about that. So then someone like confronted him about it. Thirst for Game 7 to let the first goal count after a 2-line pass. They were just outplayed, man. Jay Snow, I'd love to get wasted with Gomer, for sure. For sure. Coordinator, then how do you repair inconsistencies? What is that in reference to? The inconsistencies with what? Justin Hockey, we are back to the business. I'm not saying that yet, but I hope so. Gomer's a funny bastard. Gomer is definitely one of the best personalities in Devils history, for sure. I did an interview with Gomer, if you haven't seen it. That's on the channel, hoping to get him back eventually. But he's like the GM and coach of his junior team, and they got him running around like a madman, doing all kinds of shit. Devils Holic, when's the next game you're going to? You should hold a meetup if you haven't yet. Some people have asked about this too. Given some thought to it. I don't know. Eventually I'll get around to doing all this stuff. Yeah. Eventually, I'll probably do stuff like this. I'm not great at planning, and, there's a lot that goes into all this. Chico, dick move for a fan. You're not media. He stopped to sign something for you. Be polite. Well, I'm curious. Was the fan, aggressive about it? Did he just ask him? I would need to know more details before I could give my full opinion. Husky Unchained Ace, I need that Arnott photo in my life. Any suggestions on where I could find it? Probably not. It's an old relic. It is an old relic. From long ago. I don't know. If you scour the internet, maybe. I don't know. It's crazy that was 25 years ago. It makes me feel so old. In some ways, I feel so old. In some ways, I feel not old. But when I start thinking about, I was at, I guess I won't. Yeah, I remember things about that 2000 run super vividly. And we're coming up on the 25th anniversary of that cup, which is psychotic. But I'm probably going to do a lot of nostalgia programming in the summer around that. Ryan, Ace, did you go to the game? I just joined the live. Didn't finish watching the game with 5 minutes left in the game. Had a beer league game to attend. I did go to the game. Great ceremony. Great victory for your New Jersey Devils. I was there. I saw the clip this morning. I thought it was being... Oh, of course it was filmed. So they did this and filmed it on top of it. He was being kind of aggressive. I'll have to dig up the clip again. Megas, Timo's attack, which led to the fourth goal, so good he tricked 3 Boston players with 2 moves, and Mercer scored again. Yeah, I'm sure Mercer probably likes playing with Timo now, especially after a 2-goal evening. I barely go to that many games anymore. Thirst for my Arnie Sig is on an Oilers photo. Metalander, talk to you on post-game chat after the Bell Center on Saturday night. Oh, yeah, enjoy that, Metalander. You're going to the game, right, in Montreal? Have fun, man. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. I eventually got to get to one in Montreal. LJ, smash the like before you peace out, y'all. That'd be amazing. Hit the like for your boy and your New Jersey Devils, hopefully starting to right the ship with a massive 5-1 beatdown of the Boston Bruins. If no one has anything else, we're going to shut her down. We're going to wind her down here. Any other final questions, comments, concerns, whatever else? But your New Jersey Devils, guys, they did the damn thing tonight. Husky on chances I'm an old relic. Ryan, can you fill me in with your quick opinion of the game overall, please? Also, what do you think about the Markey injury? Do you think season ending? I'm not going to pretend I know about that stuff. I think it could potentially be. He's going to get an MRI. Let's wait and see. The team will probably keep us in the dark as long as possible, but I hope there's no tear or ligament damage or the MCL, ACL, the sprains, the tears. You hear about guys getting this shit all the time. It is somewhat comforting, I guess, in the fact that he was able to put weight on it and skate off the ice on his own. So I'm hoping it's nothing too crazy. But we'll wait and see. If it's season ending, that's a huge blow to this Devils club, obviously. I mean, it doesn't need to even be talked about. That's a massive loss. Overall in the game, obviously encouraging. Back-to-back games with 1 goal. We break out for 5. The power play was hot. I guess the biggest concerns for me were, again, 2 even-strength goals. I mean, it's better than 1, but 2 even-strength goals on most nights isn't going to get it done. And I would say, this one was won with the power play, obviously, which I'll take. And you'd love to see the power play firing, but want to see a little bit more 5-on-5. And then also the lack of physicality, only 11 hits. I want to see way more hits than that because you're not winning playoff games with throwing 11 hits. Jason, I'd like to see Jack Pally Cotter. Christian Granlund from the Sharks, third-line center, top 6 winger. There's no shortage of guys. There is a ton of guys that could help this team out there. The question is who is going to be true sellers at the deadline and who is going to be holding on till the very, very end. Later, Traveling Devil. Insane Pollock, Ace, was that really our first win since 2000 against the Bruins at home? If they said it is, I wasn't aware that the streak was that long. That's pretty terrible if that's the case. Chico, I wouldn't be surprised. The Devils were specifically bad versus the Bruins for so long. Evan, beat Montreal, and then let's take it to stinking Flyers. They suck, and we owe them. Oh, we owe them a big payback. Jason, we got to keep driving to the net more often. Gotta go to the net. Brandon Tanev. There's tons of guys. there's tons of guys, but now with some of the rumored prices, a guy like Taylor Hall, I know a lot of you aren't on board with it, but I think it's just a very nice low risk, high reward type move. It's going to cost basically nothing, assuming that Nico, that Fitz, talks to Nico and Brad are two guys who played with him. As long as they think it's a good idea and they give their blessing, I think it's worth exploring. Yeah, Jack left the game because he had to get stitches on his finger. Something happened to his finger, and that's, that was the deal. So his finger was stitched up, and he came back. Stitches, yep. Devils are great at generating good chances, but modern goalies are very good at stopping good chances. They have to start getting nasty with a throw it on net fight for a rebound. Yeah, all scrappy things that we're not good at. We're not good at the scrappy stuff, and they have to get better at it, which includes going into corners, hitting, dumping and chasing, crashing the net, just getting greasy and grimy. Getting greasy and grimy, that's what they got to do. And 11 hits is discouraging to me, I'll be honest. It's not going to be near good enough when we get into February and March, where these teams are all just clawing with desperation to try to get into a wild card. There's going to be so many teams fighting for it. Jason, no, we're going to have to wait to the deadline because of the money. Insane Pollock or Jack had Norovirus and had to use the Lou. Yeah, Jack was on the bowl. Chico, we have some bombers on the blue line. Get the puck back for a bomb and get some tips with it. That'd be nice. We only have $2 million right now of cap space. All right, guys, that's it. Your New Jersey Devils win 5-1. If you haven't seen the video I put out this morning about the VIP dinner with the legends, including Jacques, with a couple little stories on the stage, check that out on the channel. Lots of stuff in the works. And thank you all for joining us on this fine Wednesday evening where your New Jersey Devils hopefully have begun taking steps to being a winning hockey team and back in the right direction. Hopefully that is the case, but I will be back soon. Please hit that like on the way out, or right now, just hit the like. Just smash it real quick. Just boop. Just hit that like for your boy right now. And that's it. Oh my God, Chico. The Norovirus King. Listen, I hope you're right. But I just, when the slide started so much earlier, I can't live in a world where I say, oh, they all had the virus and that's why we sucked. Like, we were sucking for a while. All right, but that's it. That's it. Thanks for watching. I love you all. No Rotazo. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.